Well, hello. It's been a minute since I've made a video. This is my third video about my breast implant illness journey and my decision to explant. And tomorrow is March 1st, 2023, and it will be my 6-month anniversary of explanting on September 1st of last year. So long story short, I'll just tell you right off the bat, I feel fantastic. Flat-tastic, I think is the word. I explanted with Dr. Rutterman in Atlanta, and don't let this awesome sports bra fool you, it's a pad, but I feel great. I have been able to watch all of my BII symptoms disappear. And if you want to know more about what they were and my decision to explant, I would highly encourage you to go watch the first video that I made. And the second video was just some extra thoughts I had pre-explant and some funny, awkward conversations I had with my family. So, but it's been 6 months, and I apologize for the delay in posting an update, but 6 months it's been a lot to process during those 6 months, and I didn't want to make one too soon. And I appreciate everyone that's reached out to me and asked me how I'm doing, because I'm doing great, and I can't wait to catch you up. Basically, they were the culprit. My implants were absolutely the reason for my health issues. I know that because I am better now, and I'm grateful that I made the decision that I did, and I have zero regrets. A 100% or 1,000%, he says, supportive and affectionate and loving and amazing husband. So it's been quite the journey, but I wanted to share my progress with you guys because I remember being where you are, and these videos from other women on the same journey were very, very helpful. So let me catch you up. First, let me back up and tell you guys that when I was actually interviewing and having consultations with different surgeons in my area, I went to one surgeon, and he asked me during the consult, or actually said, to really think about it and consider whether or not I would be devastated if I removed my breast implants. And I'm not questioning the motive behind his statement or the validity, but words trip me up personally, and I could not get over the fact that he chose those words, devastating, because I refuse to let these devastate me. These are my implants. I wanted them back because, quite frankly, I paid for them twice. And I wanted the visual, I wanted the reminder, I wanted to look at them and hold them in my hands and see what I've done. And again, I will not be devastated by plastic balls in my chest or bags or whatever you want to call them. I refuse. I was telling a friend recently that this experience, while it has been hard, is not even the third hardest thing that I have ever dealt with in my life, the hardest of which happened at 19, and eventually processed and got through that and some other things and journeys in my life. And this has been a super frustrating one and aggravating. Please see video 1. But I refuse to let it devastate me because I am 43 years old now, and at this point, I hope I am strong enough to deal with some hard stuff in my life. And these were not going to take me out. I refuse. What is devastating are the stories of women who are breast cancer survivors who have mastectomies and then choose implants, and whether they choose them or they're pushed on them or whatever, and then they end up getting breast implant illness. I've talked to some of these women. That is devastating. I cannot even imagine what that is like. For me, this was 100% a decision of vanity. So I can't be devastated. What was devastating for me was my last year, was 2022, and all the health issues that I was experiencing, while on paper I was completely healthy, and all the tests said I was completely healthy, and doctors told me I was completely healthy, and I knew that I wasn't, because of all the things I was experiencing. That was devastating. These, a no-brainer. Nothing is worth my physical health and my sanity. So I explanted on September 1st, and the first thing I noticed right away when I woke up from surgery was my mental clarity. It was instant. The brain fog they talk about is a real thing, and for me, I was really, really struggling with my clarity, with my creativity, with being able to just think a thought all the way through. And right away when I woke up, I just felt this deep sense of relief that I was no longer harming myself with the implants, and that I had a new chance at life, a new lease on life. And I felt very much myself in my body and especially in my mind. The joy was just, it's hard to describe. But this is what's been corrected physically for me since my surgery. I no longer have hives and inflammation and random swelling all over my body. All I have to do is look at video 1 or go back through my camera feed, my camera roll, and look at all those pictures of myself with the hives. That's devastating. Those have disappeared. That has not happened in my body since explanting. Praise the Lord. No more panic attacks, which I've dealt with decades ago, but these were brought on by something different. I have had moments of sadness, which I'll talk about in a minute, but no depression. And there's a big difference between sadness, which is fleeting, and depression, which sticks around. After about a week or so after my surgery, when the medicines wore off, I noticed that my stomach felt better, because last year I was having food sensitivities to everything. And I actually would sleep inclined because I was having acid reflux. And I slept with a sleeve of Ritz crackers by my bed and a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. That was devastating, not being able to eat what I want. Now I can eat whatever the heck I want, which is exactly what I want, because my husband and I are foodies and we love to go out to eat. And I haven't had any food sensitivities. No allergies, no food sensitivities. My stomach feels great, and no acid reflux. I can sleep through the night. That's life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. Also, immediately I noticed my hair stopped falling out. You can see it's longer. And within about a month, I noticed some regrowth happening, which I was really excited about. Ironically, they were growing in silver. Yep, silver, which my God has a sense of humor. So I think it was his way of saying, Bonnie, let me sprinkle a little wisdom on your head after this whole process, because I swear to you, they were popping in silver. And I color them because my husband is a hairstylist. And while I completely admire all you brave women who have embraced that silver, I'm not there yet, but I'll get there eventually. But yes, it started growing back. But also because my husband is a hairstylist, he warned me that he has seen over the years his clients lose hair after a surgery, no matter what that surgery is, due to anesthesia. And that, he said, could happen around the 3-month mark. And dang it if he wasn't right, because mid-December I noticed it started falling out again. And I was like, oh no, not again. But it's okay, because I witnessed it growing back. I witnessed the regrowth, and I know that that will eventually settle out. And, you know, I'm making it work with the good products that I have, so I can hang in there for this part. I have lost weight since my surgery, but it has been 6 months, people, and I have worked really hard and done all the things. So I can't give complete credit to removing the implants. The weight did not fall off like I hoped or anticipated, but I think part of that is because I explanted right before the holidays, and my food and beverage choices probably were not ideal. But I've hit the ground running, especially this year with yoga and working out and intermittent fasting, no sugar, no alcohol, of course, and finally kind of where I want to be with my goal weight. So I feel fantastic, But I will say that removing the implants has reduced the inflammation, and I don't have any more joint pain. I recover quicker. I have energy for my workouts. So in that regard, it has helped me get to where I am today and feel good in my body and good working out and at my goal weight, because there is no inflammation going on in my body. Another update worth telling is that exactly 1 week after my EXPLANT surgery on September 8th, the FDA issued an update that various forms of lymphomas and cancers have been reported in the capsules, the scar tissue, of all types of implants, not just textured like back in the day, all kinds, silicone, saline, every one. So while in the first video I added a little disclaimer about it being a debated necessity of removing the capsules, I will say today firmly that it is necessary for complete healing. And while I understand it's a risky and invasive procedure, I would highly encourage you to find a skilled surgeon that feels comfortable with that. I know a lot of surgeons do not. And if the surgeon that put yours in is not a believer in BII and doesn't want to remove the capsules, please, please, please go interview some other people and find somebody that will sympathize with you and not just say, okay, if you want them out, that they will actually understand what you're going through and understand the importance of removing the capsules. So I wanted to show you a picture of my capsules. And here's the part I debated, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to share this, because when I showed this to people, I get a mixed bag of reactions, and it makes sense because they're really gross. But I will show you guys, and so here's your chance to look away if you're a little squeamish. But these are the capsules that were surrounding my implants. Now these are not to scale. I made this little quadrant, so I'm not saying they're as big as my implants, but these look disgusting, right? Well, first of all, to answer the questions that you have right now, no, there's nothing wrong with my implants. I mean, with the capsules. These are completely healthy capsules. The capsules are the scar tissue your body forms around your implants, everyone's implants, when you put them in the body, because it's their first line of defense. It is the body's way of protecting itself from a foreign object. These are healthy, this is healthy scar tissue, if that's a thing. And they were sent off to pathology. So yes, no, they're not moldy. That's on a blue paper, and they were sent off, and these are healthy capsules. I am very glad that they are not in my body. And it's hard for me to imagine anyone seeing that photo and thinking that it's okay to leave that in there, especially given the reports of women who have had complete capsulectomies, total capsulectomies. And now the FDA saying that here is where all the yucky stuff is harbored, in that scar tissue of the capsule. So please, please, please do your research, find a skilled surgeon that will do this procedure for you the right way. Things got real when I had to deboob my Bitmoji. I shared this in that Facebook group because you have to keep a sense of humor about all this because it's crazy. But I thought I'd share that with you guys for fun. So emotionally, this has not been a linear healing. I have had moments and fits and cried because nothing fit, and I tried on 15 shirts and probably needed a whole new wardrobe at this point because nothing fits like it did. I'm back to finding shirts that look good for small-chested women and flat-chested women. I'm back to finding bras for the itty-bitty titty committee. And at this point, I think I'm a 36 AAA, maybe even. So that's been a lot. That's been a lot to deal with. Do I like how they look now? Not particularly. I mean, to be very honest with you, it's the reason why I got implants to begin with. So yes, I have zero regrets. I feel amazing. It feels awesome to be in this body. I'm very proud of what I did. I love my small chest, but stepping out of the shower and looking in the mirror is still a challenge for me. I feel like I look amazing in my bras and my shirts and my clothes, and I feel great. But in a way, the visual is something that is still part of my journey and something I'm still processing. One of my favorite musical groups is AJR. I think they're fantastic storytellers, and they have a song called Way Less Sad. And the lyrics say, I'm not happy, I'm not happy, I'm not happy yet. but I'm way less sad. And that's how I feel in this process. I'm way less sad than I was. I am 95% full of joy and feel great and amazing and grateful to be on this side of it. But yes, I'm human, and we live in a visually obsessed world, in a beauty and youth obsessed world. And so it's hard sometimes. I guess I have that leftover CrossFit mentality, is look good naked. You know, I mean, they have been traumatized in a way. They've had double surgeries now that they did not ask for. They're entitled to look a little upset. And so I'm being very careful with the words that I choose to speak to myself and to speak over myself. And I am trying to be kind and compassionate, just like I would with a friend who is going through something like this. At this point, the goal is my befores, ironically, before I even had the augmentation. I'm like, come on, girls, you can do it. You remember? So that's the short answer is no, I'm not particularly thrilled with how they look. I've seen worse, I've seen better. Is it worth it? Absolutely, yes. One thing that was very helpful for me leading up to EXPLANT was being aware of my mental diet and the images that I fed myself. Because we live in a visual world, right? And we are constantly bombarded with images of the ideal, especially women. There's the ideal lips and face and chest and waist and hips and thighs and all of the stuff that we're constantly being fed. And it's hard to kind of step back and think about that and say, okay, I might not check all those boxes, and that's okay for me, because if we all looked alike, that would be weird. We all have a different kind of sexy and a unique beauty that really comes from the inside out that we have to share with the world. So I started looking back when I decided to EXPLANT, went way down my Instagram feed and found that flat-chested, healthy Bonnie. And there was nothing wrong with her at all. And I started feeding myself those images. And I also found it helpful to look at women with small chests, because that is so attractive and apparently even fashionable if you see all the models on the runway today. And it was helpful for me to kind of unpack those thoughts that my breasts need to look a certain way, that what I have and what God gave me is enough and is beautiful just like it is. So I would challenge you to be aware of the images that you feed yourself. I think that that concept could be a hours-long video for both men and women. It's very important, because even with the before and afters that I talked about in that second video, that's a slippery slope, because I started to think the afters are the goal, right? And now I have such a different perspective. I am still holding out hope that they're gonna look like my befores before I had anything done to them. Another resource I found very, very helpful is this book. It's called Busting Free by Dr. Amanda Savage Brown. She is a therapist, and she actually specializes in self-acceptance, and she also EXPLANTed. So who better to get therapy from a licensed therapist who has been there? I actually got in trouble on the Facebook group for sharing this book because they have no promotion policy, which is fine, I understand. This is my channel, and so get yourself this book. It is fantastic. And buy my books while you're at it, while you're there on Amazon or wherever. She actually introduced me through those pages to my inner fixer, who is that voice in your head that encourages you to do something, change something, fix something, especially when you have taken in all these images from the world and our society and culture about the way things should look. So she helped me sort of give her a name, and it's funny because her voice got very loud after EXPLANTing. It was almost like she said, okay, fine, take the boobs back, but do something, enhance something, get that lash serum, go get Botox, do something to fix yourself. And so it has been helpful to sort of, first of all, step back and be aware of that voice inside me and be able to thank you, voice, for trying to protect me but we are going to walk through this together rationally and make the best decisions we can with the information we know and weigh out all risks and benefits. Because honestly, one thing I was surprised about post-surgery is I thought I would wake up this teetotaler, like I'm never going to have any cosmetic procedure ever done again, and the purists would be happy if I said that. But honestly, I feel like I'm more of a havesy-haveser, so I can't say that I won't do a cosmetic procedure. I can promise you these are not going in my body. I'm not putting foreign objects in my body. But I have that awareness that I will weigh the cost benefit and research thing if I choose that in the future. I just want to add that similarly to my journey with alcohol, I did not have to hit rock bottom with alcohol or implants to know that neither of them served me in this one beautiful life that I have, but that deciding against either of them will bring criticism, because alcohol and breast implants are highly regarded and heavily defended in this culture, and I'm okay with that. I also know that breast implant illness does not affect everyone. Dolly's doing just fine, thank you very much. And I quite frankly don't want to live in a world with a boobless Dolly. But the truth is that they are problematic devices. These things are problematic devices with a shelf life. So if you have unexplained health issues or have a friend that has unexplained health issues and no one has brought up the fact that it could be your implants, please look into that for your own self, for your own health and your own sanity. So to summarize, my breast implants were making me sick. I removed them and I'm better. And that is my story. By the grace of God, I have reclaimed my health and my identity, and it feels amazing to be back in my new old body. I know that there will still be ups and downs on this journey because we live in a youth-obsessed and beauty-obsessed culture, but I'm here for it all, eyes and heart wide open, and I wish you the best love and light on your journey.